Welcome back. Directorate of Revenue Intelligence arrested a man who had 24.9 kilos of ketamine. The DRI received an intelligence report that a Chennai-based gang is smuggling ketamine in export consignments to Malaysia through Chennai Air Cargo Complex. The drugs worth Rs 2.5 crore was addressed from Arasan International Virupuram to Zen Logistics. The accused, SMS Bashir Ahmed, aged about 28 years, is in police custody, while two of his counterparts are still at large.
Directorate of Revenue officials Chennai received intelligence that ketamine drug is being smuggled through Chennai Air Cargo Complex to Malaysia. So on that basis, yesterday the officers intercepted a consignment declared as polyester sarees. So after removing the polyester sarees in the cartons, the officers noticed that some of the cartons were unusually very heavy. Thereafter, the carton walls were cut open, and inside that the drug was kept concealed in 20 packets. The total weight of the drug recovered was 25 kgs, and the value is around rupees 2.5 crores. The officers apprehended one person and they are interrogating him. Two more persons are we are on the lookout, and probably we will apprehend them soon.
The government is reaching out to its allies on the FDI issue. Prime Minister Manmohan Singh talked to Trinamool Chief Mamata Banerjee over the issue, but the West Bengal Chief Minister appears adamant on her opposition to FDI. After talking to Prime Minister, Mamata said that Prime Minister asked me to think about FDI and discuss it with my party. We can discuss it in the party, but I said on this issue, I cannot give my support because our opposition to FDI is there in our manifesto. I have to look after the interest of the small farmer. A familiar story on the 9th day of Parliament's winter session, both the Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha have been adjourned for the day. The opposition once again struck work to force the government's hand on the FDI in retail issue. 3 days after the all-party meeting, in which both the government allies and the opposition made it clear that they wanted a rollback, there has been a further hardening of positions. Sources say an aggressive government, after talking with its allies, could oppose an adjournment motion on FDI altogether. Commerce Minister Anand Sharma, in his interview to NDTV, had also said that an adjournment motion could set a dangerous precedent. And as that standoff over FDI in retail continues, the Prime Minister is hard at work, talking to allies and shoring up the UPA's numbers. But the Union Commerce Minister has told NDTV that the option of opposing the adjournment motion can be considered. Sharma says government is not shying away from a vote, but has objections to the language of the motion, which calls for a rollback. He says it could set a dangerous precedent.
We ask the government to roll back. We do not like this word at all.
The BJP has rejected Commerce Minister Anand Sharma's claim that Gujarat and Himachal Pradesh had favoured FDI in retail. Former Himachal Chief Minister Shanta Kumar said that both the Chief Ministers are against FDI in retail and Commerce Minister's claim on NDTV interview yesterday as wrong.
To discuss the FDI issue with us, the Chairman of the Standing Committee on Commerce, Mr. Shanta Kumar. So there is a lot of talk about two Chief Ministers writing to the Standing Committee and giving an opinion that they are in favour of the FDI in retail sector.
I have talked personally with Shri Narendra Modi ji and Prem Kumar Dhumal, and they have told me that they are against FDI in retail sector. They were never in support of it. There were personal talk with both the Chief Ministers.
But they have not in the past also written any such letter?
I can't say. They said never.
And you are also talking about how 19 states were asked for an opinion on the report created by Mr. Murli Manohar Joshi's Standing Committee. What was the response there?
19 states have sent their reply, and all the states agrees in principle with the recommendation of the committee.
Also the fact that, are you unhappy at the fact that the government has gone ahead with a policy decision which is still being debated by the Standing Committee?
It's very bad, undemocratic. Government should have waited the recommendation of the committee.
Do you want that now at least the government should put it on hold so that the committee can finish its work?
a rollback. Government should withdraw this decision. That is our demand.
Till the committee submits the report?
Yes.
And right now, what is the mood in the committee?
The committee को भी meet करेगी. Committee को अगली meeting में meet करना है. Then they will decide what to do.
Commerce Minister Anand Sharma had opened a new controversy and challenged the BJP to contradict him, saying while the BJP is adamantly against FDI in retail right now, at least 2 BJP states told a parliamentary committee on commerce that they wanted foreign direct investment for their states. Speaking exclusively to NDTV, Anand Sharma says the states of Gujarat and Himachal Pradesh gave this feedback to a House panel headed by a BJP leader, Shanta Kumar, as recently as in the past 1 year. And a third BJP-ruled state, Karnataka, was non-committal and did not oppose it.
When it comes to a position being taken that the BJP-ruled states shall never have it, good luck to them. But in the Parliamentary Standing Committee, some of the BJP states, and it's a matter of record, the parliamentary records don't lie, and nor are they manufactured by the government of the day. They have asked for it. I can name 2 states specifically. That's Gujarat and Himachal, the state second from where I come from. Even BJP-ruled Karnataka was non-committal, they never opposed it. And you can access the report.
That's interesting because I was going to ask you about that.
Now, there is another thing. For them, therefore, to say that, no, we shall not allow. Are they trying to convey to the rest of the country their states can align with their party position? That's their internal issue. Though it's unfortunate, I'll feel sorry for those states. But those big states of the country who have asked for it, welcomed it, and are ready for the rollouts, states like Maharashtra, Andhra, Punjab is a BJP ally, Haryana, even Rajasthan, Assam, and many more. Now, does the BJP have a veto against these states in a federal polity? If we accept this premise, it will gravely undermine India's federal structure.
Now, if you quote the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Commerce, there was this report submitted under the chairmanship of Murli Manohar Joshi in 2009.
I'm referring to the subsequent committee, all the deliberations are available with the Parliament, which is chaired by Shanta Kumar. It's subsequent to that, because the discussion paper came in 2010 July. Murli Manohar Joshi's committee...
Because Murli Manohar Joshi's committee opposed the entry of
I understand, because
FDI and retail.
Murli Manohar Joshi also rewrote the BJP manifesto. Apparently, Joshi ji was the chairman of the drafting committee for the 2009 election, which reversed the earlier position. Because 2004 position, which they deny, and it's again speaks a lot of the convictions or lack of it.
So you're saying a BJP-headed parliamentary panel, in a sense, is willing to take FDI in the retail sector?
No, they did not recommend, but they deliberated on this very document, which is the basis of this policy being rolled out.
Moving on, in an extraordinary move, the Delhi High Court has questioned the trial court's order on bail given to A. Raja's former personal secretary, R.K. Chandolia. The court says that it has to be seen whether the grant of bail was just or arbitrary. The High Court judge has taken suo motu cognizance of media reports and said that this will impact the bail application of former Telecom Secretary Siddharth Behura. The bail order of Chandolia cannot be stayed as he was released yesterday already. Pakistan and the United States are locked in a bitter battle after the NATO strike killed 24 Pakistani troops. Pakistani Army Chief General Ashfaq Kayani called the NATO attack blatant act of aggression, and any act of aggression would be dealt with full force. He gave full liberty to his forces to respond to any further cross-border attacks by NATO forces. On the other side of the break, let's find out just what can be so dirty about this picture. Stay tuned.